Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nigamakalpataro Galitam Phalam Shukamukaram Ritadrava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Murho Rasika Ubhibhavukaham. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
A pleasant welcome to everyone to Srila Prabhupada's Sunday program. Some years ago, His Holiness Brahmapad Swami was visiting here, and I asked him a question. I asked, Maharaj, from your travels around the ISKCON world, what is the greatest challenge of devotees that you experience? And he thought for a while and he said, lack of proper interaction. And then he qualified it by saying, I don't mean this way, meaning from you to him or her to her. He said, I don't mean this way. He said, I mean this way. And he explained, for the treasure that we have received, people in this Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna gave the essence, Bhagavad Gita. Shukadev Goswami delivered Sriman Bhagavatam, which is the cream of all the Vedas. 500 years ago, Krishna came again as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful of all incarnations, and gave the topmost message. Then Srila Prabhupada came over 50 years ago and gave us this Krishna consciousness movement with all the facility, sadhana, everything for perfection. But the biggest challenge is how much do we actually imbibe or internalize what has been made available to us. So he said, that is the greatest challenge. So I'd like to read and speak a little bit from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto. This chapter 23 is entitled Devahuti's Lamentation. Now, while there is quite a bit I had intended to read, not so likely, I'll try to summarize some of it, but I'll read the two concluding verses of the chapter. perhaps I'll tell you a little bit about who is Devahuti. Devahuti, a princess, the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. She was brought by her father to the forest and given to a sage, Kardama Muni, to become the wife of Kardama Muni. Imagine some woman today having to undergo such. Anyway, they may not be too inclined to that. But the princess, she actually did become the wife of this sage, Kardama Muni. Just trying to make it as logical as possible. So I will try to read just some translations. So then I'll do the concluding verses. So Devahuti, after some years of austerity with her husband, she said, "My dear Lord, I am struck by excited emotion for you. Therefore kindly make what arrangements must be made according to the scriptures, so that my skinny body, emaciated through unsatisfied passion, may be rendered fit for you. Also, my Lord, please think of a suitable house for this purpose." Now the chapter is entitled Devahuti's Lamentation. So the end of the chapter, she is thinking, I associated with this great personality, and what did I achieve? So it's amazing. She's asking her husband to make some suitable arrangement. They're married and they should, she's saying that Maitreya is narrating to Vidura. O Vidura, seeking to please his beloved wife, the sage Kardama exercised his yogic power and instantly produced an aerial mansion that could travel at his will. It was a wonderful structure bedecked with all sorts of jewels, adorned with pillars of precious stones and capable of yielding whatever one desired. It was equipped with every form of furniture and wealth, which tended to increase in the course of time. The castle was fully equipped with all necessary paraphernalia, and it was pleasing in all seasons. It was decorated all around with flags, festoons, and artistic work of variegated colors. It was further embellished with wreaths of charming flowers that attracted sweetly humming bees, and with tapestries of linen, silk, and various other fabrics. The palace looked charming, with beds, couches, fans, and seats, all separately arranged in several stories. Anyway, a lot of continuing very nice description. So we'll skip some of it, and then Kardama, he asked Devahuti. So this is some continuing. My dear Devahuti, you look very much afraid. First bathe in the lake Bindu Sarovar created by Lord Vishnu himself, which can grant all the desires of a human being, and then mount this airplane. the lotus-eyed Devahuti accepted the order of her husband. Because of her dirty dress and the locks of matted hair on her head, she did not look very attractive. Her body was coated with a thick layer of dirt and her breasts were discolored. She dove, however, into the lake, which contained the sacred waters of the Saraswati. In a house inside the lake, she saw 1,000 girls, all in the prime of youth and fragrant like lotuses. Seeing her, the damsel suddenly rose and said with folded hands, "We are your maid servants. Tell us what we can do for you." The girls, being very respectful to Devahuti, brought her forth, and after bathing her with valuable oils and ointments, they gave her fine new spotless clothes to cover her body. Okay, that's great, right? Having 1,000 maid servants. You have a wonderful aerial mansion that could travel all over the universe. Let's take a little description of where it could go. In that aerial mansion, he traveled to the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru, which were rendered all the more beautiful by cool, gentle, fragrant breezes that stimulated passion. In these valleys, the treasurer of the gods, Kubera, surrounded by beautiful women and praised by the siddhas, generally enjoys pleasure. Kardama Muni, also surrounded by the beautiful damsels, and his wife went there and enjoyed for many, many years. So that airplane, that airplane could travel all over the universe. So we will have to summarize now. So anyway, enjoyed for a long time. Kardama Muni gave her 9 daughters. How many of you here have read 3rd Canto Srimad Bhagavatam? Raise your hands. Okay, we got a few distinguished persons. I'd like to encourage you to read Srimad Bhagavatam. You will get very, very interesting information. Maybe not all I want to narrate here, why Kardama Muni expanded himself into 9 forms. But you will find it very interesting if you go and read Srimad Bhagavatam, how he begot 9 daughters and they were all born the same day. But then she said, these girls will find their husbands and they will go away. And what would be my situation that you should grant me fearlessness also? So this is, we getting to the point that I want to deal with, coming. Not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of the senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. You could have any amount of material opulence in this world. Nice, faithful family members. But being away from Krishna, the scripture says, Bhayam dvitiya bhiniveshatasyad. Bhaya, or fear, is the characteristic that pervades this material world. Living beings are very, very fearful of inevitable death. So Prabhupada says in the purport of it, I'm just taking a piece. Association with a great personality is most important. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says that sadhu sangha, the association of a great saintly person, is very important. Because even if one is not advanced in knowledge, simply by association with a great saintly person, one can immediately make considerable advancement in spiritual life. Think about Srila Prabhupada coming to New York City. People who he associated there with, they didn't know anything about spiritual life. A lot of them didn't know much about material life either. They were hippies. They didn't care for career and all of that. But by associating with Srila Prabhupada says in the purport to Bhagavad Gita 9.3, 9.3 Krishna says, Ashradhana Purusha, those persons who are Ashradha, who doesn't have faith in what I'm saying, Mrityu Samsara Vartmani, they'll have to return to the path of repeated birth in this world. And Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, faith is the most important factor for advancing in spiritual life. And then he says, faith is created by association with devotees. If you're looking for tangible proof, those persons who associated with Srila Prabhupada, they developed faith and conviction in Krishna and his teachings more than millions of people in India who may have sat and practiced yoga and austerity for many years, grown long, old beard, and so on, but still had not come to the conclusion that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedaischa sarvaida hameva vedya, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Bahunam janmanam ante, after Bahu Janam, Jnanavan mam prapadyati. After many lifetimes of religious practice, it should result in knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Vasudeva sarvamiti. I, Vasudeva, I am everything. Samahatma sudurlabha. Such great souls are very rare. So people could practice religiosity for many lifetimes. But to come to that point, just by associating with a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, people develop faith in Krishna. What to speak of those who associated with Prabhupada? Devotees in this country. Srila Prabhupada didn't personally. He came through his books, through his followers. But the closest he got to here was Venezuela. He didn't make it physically to Trinidad. But the idea is this. By coming in contact with that pure devotee, his teachings, people develop firm faith in Krishna and the teachings of Krishna. So the concluding verses that I want to read, Devahuti's assessment of her associating with her husband, but not taking advantage, she says now, Neha yat karma dharmaya na vairagaya kalpati natirtha pada sevaya jivanapi mrito hi saha. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life. Anyone whose religious ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Too stunning, I'll read it again. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life. You can learn the Sanskrit, you might remember it better. Neha yat karma dharmaya. Karma is work and dharma is religiosity. Anyone whose religious ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Jivan api mrito hi saha. If you are living without knowing your identity and your constitutional position, or who you came from and who you are supposed to be connected to and serving, if you are living without knowing your relationship with your source, what you're doing is you're tightening a noose around your neck. In other words, your activities will just amount to creating repeated birth and death. Therefore, Krishna says in Gita, keep all abominable actions far distant by devotional service. Otherwise, everybody's acting. But if they're acting outside of their relationship with the Lord, it simply produces reactions. So then she says, my Lord, surely I have been solidly cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For in spite of having obtained your association, which gives liberation from material bondage, I did not seek such liberation. Purport. An intelligent man should utilize good opportunities. The first opportunity is the human form of life. And the second opportunity is to take birth in a suitable family where there is cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is rarely obtained. The greatest opportunity is to have the association of a saintly person. Devahuti was conscious that she was born as the daughter of an emperor. She was sufficiently educated and cultured, and at last she got Kardama Muni, a saintly person, and a great yogi as a husband. Still, if she did not get liberation from the entanglement of the material energy, then certainly she would be cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy. Actually, the illusory material energy is cheating everyone. People do not know what they are doing when they worship the material energy in the form of goddess Kali or Durga for material boons. They ask, Mother, give me riches, give me a good wife, give me fame, give me victory. But such devotees of the goddess Maya or Durga do not know that they are being cheated by that goddess Material achievement is actually no achievement, because as soon as one is illusioned by the material gifts, he becomes more and more entangled. And there is no question of liberation. One should be intelligent enough to know how to utilize material assets for the purpose of spiritual realization. This is called karma yoga or jnana yoga. Whatever we have, we should use as service to the Supreme Person. It is advised in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Swakarmana Tam Abhyarcha. One should try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's assets. There are many forms of service to the Supreme Lord, and anyone can render service unto him according to the best of his ability. So back to my initial point. Taking advantage of what has been made available to us. There are millions of religious people on the planet, or billions. But how many actually know who God is? As Prabhupada said, how can you love somebody you don't know? If you don't know who God is, Bhagavatam says, Naishkarmyam apyachuta bhava varjitam nashubhati jnanam alam niranjanam. That knowledge of self-realization, if devoid of a concept of the personality of Godhead, it doesn't look well. What to speak of fruitive activities that are transient by nature. So people claim that they're cultivating self-realization. Big deal. You know you're not your body, your spirit, soul. Great. That's good. Good beginning. But spirit, soul belongs where? If you don't know your constitutional position, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama Ivansha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. That all souls in this world, Mama Eva Angsa, they belong to me. They are my fragmental parts. They're meant to engage in my service. So many religious people, but if they don't know that, then it's good to be religious. But as we know, even in the name of religion, so much dogmatic fanaticism due to little knowledge. Prabhupada said little knowledge is dangerous. So what we're saying is that we have the topmost knowledge. Raja Vidya, Krishna says, king of education, Bhagavad, Sarva Vedanta Sar, the cream of all Vedanta philosophy, Sri Bhagavatam Ishati. Bhaktas engage in bhakti to Bhagavan. Everything else is superfluous and concocted. To know one's identity, to know God and one's Sanatan Dharma, one's eternal duty towards God, that is the perfection of life. So what we're saying is that if we have access to these Vedic scriptures like Gita and Bhagavatam, if we have access to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, Saba Avatar Sara Siramani, the essence of all incarnations, they're giving the topmost thing. If we have a society like the International Society for Krishna Consciousness that has such wonderful sadhana. Waking up early in the morning, Mangalarti, Tulsi Puja. Of course, majority of people may not be living in an ashram. But the point is, wherever we exist, we have 5 important things. Out of 64 items, anyone who can take advantage of these 5, Mahaprabhu says, he can attain perfection. Sadhu Sangha, the company of devotees. Nam Kirtan, chanting of the holy names. Bhagavad Shravana. Everybody can read Bhagavad every day. Murti Seva. You don't have to be a pujari to go inside the altar to serve the murtis. You can do so many service, making garlands, you can render service, offering bhoga, bringing bhoga to offer to the Lord. Someone is preaching the glories of the Lord. Devotees doing Harinam Sankirtan, distributing the Lord's prasadam. So many ways we can actually serve. So Murti Seva, serving the Lord. Bhagavad Shravana, Murti Seva, and Mathura Dham, taking advantage of the holy place. Holy place is not just Vrindavan and the Ganga and so on, but wherever the Lord appears, where the Lord is served, it's a holy place. We can take advantage of it. So the point is this. How much do we take advantage of what is available? This movement is called the Krishna Consciousness Movement, or the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, because the whole design of this society is to revive or reawaken our original spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. The whole movement is designed for this purpose. So if we take advantage of Sadhu Sangha, that's why Srila Prabhupada arranged this Sunday program. We may be busy all week. But if we hear the urgency of utilizing the human form, then we will try to get the inspiration to practice daily in our life, to apply ourselves to chanting daily, practicing Krishna consciousness on a daily basis. So the whole idea is to learn how to take advantage of what is available to us. Otherwise, if we have all these facilities and death come and meet us, and we don't attain something substantial, then who can we blame for it? You could say, well, next life when I come back, I'll see what I'll do. But Kali Yuga is becoming more and more degraded. So we should try to capitalize and reach as far as possible in this life. And it begins, Sadhu Sangha, chanting the holy names. Everything will follow if we cultivate a sincere desire. We associate with devotees, cultivate a sincere desire, then Krishna will arrange everything for us. So I'll conclude here. The Pujari may appear soon. So anybody have any questions, any comments? Yes, Mother Panchata.
So Prabhu, this process, you said your topic was about what is available to us. And we have a lot available to us. But like you're talking about Dhyan and Yoga. So all this knowledge is available. But to bridge the Dhyan with the Vijnana sometimes is not so easy. So, you talk about the 5 angas and how once we sincere, but even that is not so simple. Because we can see in our consciousness movement that it's very difficult for us to actually apply this philosophy, Like you say, Raja Vidya is the king of knowledge, but is it meant for us? can we in this age of Kali Yuga actually practically apply this very elevated philosophy of Krishna consciousness?
The idea is that the Krishna consciousness movement is testimony. Srila Prabhupada came, he gave his association, he created Sangha. So if people are sincere, then they would take advantage. If there is a chance of making a transition from knowledge to applied knowledge, it will come about if we take advantage of association. By association, we will get the strength to practice. So this is what Srila Prabhupada has made available for us. We come, we associate with devotees, but association is not just a Sunday thing. You hear a lecture on Sunday and, yeah, it sounds okay. But being in touch with devotees, learning how to apply the practices in daily life, that it is practical. It is a science. And if we apply, then we will progress. There's no doubt about it. That's the evidence. The Krishna consciousness movement has spread all over the world. Okay? Yes, Mataji.
I just have a small comment to make concerning the Hare Krishna people and the other religion you see. So let us say I'm from another religion, maybe Hindu, maybe Muslim, Mayavadi, but I'm very sincere. I want to seek God, and I'm very sincere in my attempt. I just want you to make a comparison of a person like that versus a Krishna conscious person who is not so sincere. They just have everything, they are in the family, born there. They're just doing it by rote, but they are not sincere. Krishna is inside the heart of a person. I want to know.
So the person who you're speaking about, wherever he is, if he is sincere, as you're saying, he will be here. And the person who has taken birth in the Krishna consciousness movement but appears to be casual because he was serious in his previous life, he got to take his birth in the right place. It will take a little bit for him to wake up. Right now he may be asleep to what he has available, but sooner or later he'll wake up. As the poet Wordsworth he said that anyway, can't remember the poetry, but one who knows and knows not, he knows he's asleep, wake him, right? So the idea is that the devotees, people who take birth in devotee family, they have something from their previous life, and it's just a matter of time when they will continue it. But people out, wherever they may be, if they have any degree and any level of sincerity to want to know God, I could testify. I was praying, God, if I know the truth, I promised you I would live by that truth. And that prayers only lasts for a week. After that, my head was shaved. I got a Bhagavad Gita, I met a devotee in a week time, and I was in a temple. So nobody can convince me they're really, really sincere, and they don't know. They're fooling themselves. Krishna says, I am in the heart, and I am the witness, and I am the permitter. I give remembrance, I give knowledge, I give forgetfulness. It's a science. If anybody is sincere, they will find it. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.